And what is going on, beautiful people? Welcome back. Today we'll be flying the TBM 900, my new favorite general aviation aircraft. Definitely top notch, definitely changes the game. No kidding, we're on X-Plane 11 and there are no other GA aircraft that are quite to the quality and detail as this one, and you'll see why as we do this flight. It's gonna be a full flight today from Nassau, Bahamas to Opelika, Miami, Florida. It should be a lot of fun. I really want to test out the SID and STARS functionality to see if the aircraft will actually fly the full departure and full stars. I have my nav data updated. I hope it should be. I'm using Navigraph, but we should be good there. We'll be flying the Stevo livery today, or it's a version of the Stevo livery, the November 851 Tango Bravo. You can check out Stevo on Knievo. He's a real life pilot. He does a lot of really cool flight vlogs and stuff like that, so definitely check him out. But anyways, let's get started because we have a lot to do. Again, we're starting off cold and dark. We're gonna go through the whole process first. Before we even do that, we will turn the GPU on, because I just love how it sounds. See that? That was pretty dope. It even opened up the little connector and then turned on. So that's the detail again. It's just really cool. Anyways, we don't even need GPU. Just doing that for fun. I'm gonna go to payload first, and let's put some fuel in this thing. So again, it's a pretty short flight. As you saw in that last view we were in. Right here you can see the even the gas cap is opened up on both wings. That's just, again, the level of details. I'm impressed. So I think we're going to be using about 144 gallons today. We'll split that up onto both wings, so we'll put about 72 on both sides. So let's, or that works too. I think you can't. I don't know if I can put 72. Yeah, it jumps up to 75, but that's fine. We'll do 75 gallons on both sides. And then we'll close that, close the fuel on each side. I think when you click on that, it closes it. It does. That is dope. Let's see if I can do them both at the same time. You can't really see them. This is on the left wing. We'll click on that. That's just cool. Detail. Let's see. What do we need to do next? The rest of the covers are on. We'll close the cargo for now. And I want to show you guys something else that's really freaking cool about this plane. The maintenance manager. Now I just created a new airframe, but I've had a lot of fun with it. As you fly the plane, different parts of the plane do wear. So if you can go to the engine, the landing gear, electronics, avionics, lights, airframe, miscellaneous, all that stuff. We click on engine, you hit open engine, you can see every little part of it, the fuel nozzle, the compressor, igniters, combustor, turbines. I mean, this is just cool. Right now it says as new because we haven't even flown this plane yet. But you could replace it with another for $15,000 or $20,000, and as you fly the plane and as you flood the engine and make mistakes, it will actually damage the engine and different parts of the plane, and you actually have to replace it in order to get the plane started again. And I've already had to do that. I've already done that a bunch of times. But again, we started with a new airframe, so we're brand new right now. We shouldn't have any issues unless I just fail to start the engine correctly. Another thing that's really cool is when you go to the landing gear. Let's go to the outside view so you guys can see this. I wish I could minimize or resize this, but we're just going to try to do this from this view here. So I'll put this down here, and when I click on access landing gear, check it out. Hold on. Check it out. Look at that. It puts it up on these little things. I don't even know what you call those things, but that's just another really cool small detail that they've done. And you could obviously go through here and replace the nose gear leg, the nose gear tire. Like, I mean, this is just crazy. This is crazy. I'm just impressed. So you can hit repair, and that will it doesn't really, you don't gain any money doing flights, you don't lose any money. It just kind of has a maintenance log here where I keep track of all the purchases you've made and how many engines you've replaced and all that kind of stuff. So it's just kind of cool. But as soon as you close this, it will actually drop the plane back on its wheels. And now the GPU is back and connected. You can also go to electronics and you can do all of that. I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but it's just, like I said, you can go through here. You can even test the battery condition and all of that. I've never done that. Yeah, look at that. That's dope. Yeah, so it's testing. So we have about 25, I think, was that it? 25 volts right now, which is plenty. You can close that. And avionics, again, lights, airframe, miscellaneous. You can even refuel the oxygen tanks. Like, come on. Anyways, well, that's maintenance manager. That's just cool. There's also another, before we get started, I'm sorry if you guys are waiting to see how to start this thing or whatever, but I'm just kind of showing you guys some of the really cool features of the TBM 900 that it comes with it. You can also do the engine temperatures, where you can actually see the temperatures. This is the live temperatures. Right now it's all cool because we haven't started. Brand new plane, brand new airframe. But as we fly it, as we, even when you turn it off, you'll still see the engine, the ITT cooling off over time. It's just really cool. And you can even click on some of these and see, like, that's, I mean, this is information that I would never even know how to use, but it's just really cool that they actually incorporated that. But anyways, let's actually get this thing started. Before we start, I'm going to go ahead and take these remove before flight little red things. Take them off the top too. There we go. And we will also shut that back door. I'm actually going to go ahead and just disconnect the GPU because we'll start without it. That just sounds good. I just want to do that because it sounds so good. We'll shut that other door from the inside. Alright, so we're back on to the inside of the TBM 900. Go ahead and close the door. As that's closing, we'll go ahead and move the stripe switch up. That will allow us to turn on the avionics. Yeah, just one reminder, guys, is I've learned you actually have to hit this button twice to shut it completely, or it'll stay open if you don't click on it twice. So, just for you guys to know, as it's turn it on, left screen should turn on first, then we'll get the second and third. For me, it gets stuck. Not really stuck. It's not really stuck. It's on this like welcome screen. I was kind of confused the first time I turned it on. You just hit this last button on the bottom right, and that'll take you to the G1000. There it is. I hit the master warning, master caution.
Auto warning, okay.
Alright, we're not going to start the engine just yet. I want to get my flight plan and all that put in. So we'll go down here to our center screen and get our flight plan ready. Again, we're starting in Nassau, Bahamas. That's Mike Yankee November. We'll be expecting to take off runway 35. And I may be able to show you guys the chart that we have today. Alright, here's our chart. Again, Nassau, Bahamas, taking off runway 32, which is over here. We're sitting over at General Aviation. We'll most likely taxi Hotel 6 to Hotel, and then runway 32. Don't have any ATC right now. We're sort of on VATSIM, but we might disconnect. Actually, I don't think we are. I think I disconnected already from VATSIM, but we will be flying with world traffic, and if they behave themselves, we'll keep it on. Sometimes they take off on the wrong runways, but we'll be using 32 today. Our departure will be the JAVIS to RNAV departure. This is one of the most important parts of our flight today. I want to make sure that this plugs in correctly. Alright, so I'm going to go down here to our keypad and all that stuff. We'll hit flight. Actually, no, we'll hit procedure. And then we will hit select departure. We'll scroll down on the FMS. Hit enter. On select departure, we'll be flying the JAVIS to enter. And then our transition will be Nico. Enter. You can already see on the map here, it's actually editing it as we click on them. So you can see JAVIS right here. Then Nico is off to the west. Alright, runway 32 already selected. We'll hit load, enter one more time, and then that easy. Wow, the departure is already in, so that's working greatly. I like that. And then from Nico, one thing you'll notice about the departure is it didn't put any altitudes, but I do believe that is because there are no actual assigned altitudes for this departure. I think ATC is supposed to assign it for you. Yeah, I believe that's what it is. Yeah, so I think ATC, if we read down here, the Nico at JAVIS, proceed on track 269 to Nico, then expect further clearance to filed altitude 10 minutes after departure. And then before that, I believe it says, yes, climb to assign altitude via 323 course to JAVIS, then on depicted route. So there are no actual posted altitudes. You have to get the altitude from ATC. So we'll just be flying whatever altitude we decide to through this whole departure. Alright, let's see if I can figure out how to load an airway. Let's see. I think if we hit menu, yeah, there we go. Hit menu, Scroll down to load airway, hit enter, and yep, there it is, the Bravo Romeo 49 Victor. Cool. Yeah, I was like, how do I get an airway in here? So hit enter on that, and then we'll exit that airway at Tinky. What a name. There she is, Tinky. And load. Nice. Cool. I just learned how to do an airway. We have another one right after that. So basically you need to scroll down till you get to the blank after your last waypoint, and then click on menu. Scroll down with the FMS knob to load airway, hit enter. And the next one's gonna be Alpha 315, which is the last one on the list. There's two of them, I'm not sure why. And we'll be exiting that one at our transition for our arrival, which is going to be Zulu Bravo Victor. Hopefully that shows up here. There it is. At the top. At the top. There it is. All right. So enter and load. Perfect. All right. Cool. Things are working pretty smoothly so far. I'm really happy that you can actually load a full departure in here and airways. I feel like one thing that a lot of systems are missing out on. So we'll scroll down to the bottom once again, and we'll go ahead and plug in our destination first, which is going to be Kilo Oscar Papa Foxtrot. Hit backspace because it added a Y for some reason. Hit enter. That puts us at the end. So now we should be able to load. We hit procedure here next to flight plan. We should be able to load the arrival first. That's the star, not the approach, but the arrival. Enter, and our arrival is going to be the Waven 3. Probably the bottom. There it is. Hit enter, and the transition is actually going to be the Zulu Bravo Victor. The issue is, Zulu Bravo Victor. Hold on, let me move the chart for you guys. Let me update that to the star. Let me flying. So Waven 3. Here it is. This is our actual waypoint. So ZQA is right here. The Nassau VOR, which is right over where we're leaving from. So technically we could just fly the star only to get there, but I want to fly departure as well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna load up the ZQA as our transition, but we'll delete the points so that we can be in transition at Bimini ZBV VOR over here. You see what I'm saying? So we got ZQA to major carry, and then the Bimini VOR. We're actually gonna delete all of this once we load it, and then just use the rest of this as our arrival. So that's what we're gonna do right now. So we'll switch this to ZQA, hit enter, and load. Cool. So now we should be able to see that on FMS. I also like how as you scroll through the FMS, it also shows it on the map. It's really cool. Honestly, I didn't really use G1000 all that much on the 172, the default 172 on X-Plane. And I've heard that they've actually made some changes that you can't do on the default G1000. So I do like how it's working so far. But let's go ahead and delete those waypoints we talked about, which is, what we got? I think it did already, actually. Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, we had our airway right here to ZBV, swim, ZBV, and then, yeah, cool. It actually, because we already put in our full, that's dope. Yeah, so because we already ended our flight plan at ZBV, it already deleted those waypoints, and it's continuing us on our arrival here from ZBV to Weirs, and then we have a decal. That's dope. All right, cool. I'm really liking this. I'm really liking this. If you are feeling hot, start up the engine and turn on the air. Okay, we're just hot because that's a personal preference. I ain't worried about the AC. We're good. Okay, cool. So we got everything up to our full arrival. Our arrival ends at Freddy. From Freddy, we'll have vectors to our final approach, which will be runway 09 left, I believe. Let's make sure. It's looking at sim brief, and yes, I am correct. 09 left at Opelika. So I'm gonna hit procedure one more time, and we're almost done. We'll hit select approach now. This is our final approach. We'll hit enter on approach. Select ILS 09 left. I'm gonna test out the ILS. I've never done it, but we're gonna try it. Vectors to the ILS, no transition. That's fine. We'll enter there. Minimums, I don't really know what that means, so I'm gonna leave that as is. And load. Do not activate it or it will send you directly to your final approach. Hit enter there and flight plan. Now we have our entire flight plan shown, and if we go to FMS here, we just kind of scroll through from Opelika. You can see here's Ocane. Let's see. Actually, let's go down first. Alright, so for our hold, we even have our missed approach at Janus. We also have, you look onto the right side here, it also shows our altitudes for the final approach. So 16,000 at Ocane, and then yeah, that's pretty dope. But it does not show it for the star itself, so I think we might have to do that ourselves. And I might just go through there and fill all that out. Yeah, so we can see ZB, yep, Swim, Tinky, Nico, Javis. Yeah, that's our old flight plan right there. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so you can see no weight, nothing is there. No altitudes or nothing at all. So I am gonna go ahead and plug those, probably manually type those in, and we'll test out the VNAV function hopefully in this flight. Hopefully we don't break anything. We'll see how it works. I'm actually gonna also save this flight plan. I'm gonna go to menu and store flight plan just in case something happens. Boom, it's stored. Okay, so I'll turn the GPU on just to make sure we didn't lose any power, because I'm just kind of like using avionics and all that. But I went through and kind of mapped out some of the points of interest for altitudes and all that. So we got 1600 obviously to Ocane for our the beginning of our final approach, and then I put 2000 at Freddy. These are not really posted. I'll just kind of made these up. 6,000 at Decal. 24,000 will be our cruise today, so I'll put that at Tinky. Not really sure how fast we can get up there, but I'll put it there just in case. So we may or may not use a VNAV. We'll see, because I don't really have a perfect VNAV path. They didn't really plot one out for us. I'm not really 100% sure how that works. If you guys know how to do that, let me know in the comments. Definitely would love to know. Alright, and with that, we are ready to go. All we need to do is listen to the ATIS, the most current ATIS, and the way we'll do that, we'll come back over here. We can actually click on this and pop it out, make it a little bit easier to see, easier to click on. Our ATIS will be on 118.7. We'll put that in COM 1. And there it is. We'll switch it. Oh wow, that's cool. So you actually have to go over here to the left to the COM panel, which I don't know any other plane that makes you do that, and click on COM 1 in order to actually hear from COM 1. So I guess you would click on COM 2 to hear from COM 2. And you also, I don't know if the mic part is simulated. There is something to click on, so you may have to click on COM 1 mic in order to talk on Pilot Edge or VATSIM. I'm not sure. I haven't tested it out. We won't be testing it here. We're not really flying online. So, but COM 1 is pretty cool. You have to click on COM 1 to find out. So right now the winds are 020 at 9. Visibility is 9. Sky conditions 2,200 scattered. And temperature is 28, dew point 23, altimeter 29904. We'll put that down here. Barometric 29904. Perfecto. Departing runway 32. Advise on initial contact. You have information. Echo. Dope. Alright, we'll switch back to Unicon 122.8. That's the VATSIM Unicon, by the way. Transponder, we'll set that down here on the bottom. Click on transponder. You can hit on, standby, or alt. If you want to set the code, type in the code. We'll be just using 2200 for today. We won't be tuning into anything. We're already set it to out. Alerts, no alerts. Those are nearest airports. We hit ident right here if we needed to. CDI. We can also hit the VOR, VOR2. We're using GPS today, so we'll leave that as is. Alright, cool. With that been done, we'll go ahead and start the engines up. And shut the door. Again, hit it twice. Oh, here we go. Click on the little handle. That'll close it all the way. We will disconnect GPU. Make sure that the parking brakes are on, which it is not. And what you need to do is hit the actual brake itself. There it is, my brake button. Let's turn it to the right, and that will lock in place. You'll get a warning. Make sure all the switches are down. Make sure that the throttle is on cutoff. And everything else seems to be good. We got fuel loaded up. The fuel right here, fuel quantity. And let's go ahead and hit starter. Actually, no, before we hit the starter, we hit the aux set to on. Hear the aux on. And then we'll hit hold the starter 2 seconds. 1. Let go. You see the ignition down here lighting up. We got some spinning. We have the NG is rising. ITT is slowly rising. We go ahead and go to low idle. ITT is rising. G is continuing to rise. Waiting for hot starts and the hung starts. Seems to be going well so far. Alright, very good. We'll go up to flight idle, I should say. There we go. And we have a good start. Prop RPM is now coming up. And with that being done, we'll go turn on the inertia separator. Let's see what else we're missing. Aux will go to auto, fuel selector go to auto, and AP trim go to on. Make sure the nav light is on, which I think, yeah, now it's on. And then we'll hit the bleeds and AC. Maybe that finally will go away. It's been on this whole video. And it kind of like doesn't like that the pitot heat is not on, so we'll turn those on. Alright, I think we're good. Alright, we're ready to go. We will turn back on our controls, check our controls, and they are full and correct. Check the rudder pedals, they're also working. And we will set the flaps down 1 notch. Alright, we'll remove the chocks. Parking brakes are on, so we shouldn't start rolling. And what I usually do before I do release the parking brake is I actually hit the reverse button. So you actually gonna need, there's a little button on the bottom of this throttle, and you're gonna need, unless you can click it, I don't know if you can actually click it, but you're gonna need another button set for like activate reversers or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but I have a button on my joystick for it, and I click on it. You see that, and now we can go down to taxi range, which is below power. Without it, you cannot go to power or reversers, just so you know. So that's a little hint for you there. We'll go ahead and release the parking brake down here. I'm gonna hold the brake while I do that, and the aircraft should start rolling. Alright, so for departure, we will be taxiing heading 323. So I'm gonna make that a bit bigger on my screen here, and then we'll change our heading over to 323. I can actually do that on my joystick. I forgot about that. That's like directly behind us right now. So 323 on the heading. It shows no wind data currently for the airport for some reason. And from there, we will make a left turn over Javis to 269. So we'll turn the flight director on. Right there. And then I'm gonna hit heading mode. And you can already see the flight director moving, so that'll be the way that we'll be turning once we get airborne. Switch back to flight idle. And I believe if you want to do a run up, all you need to do is slide the throttle to the right to do the feather. Not low idle. Not low idle. Feather. Sorry about that. And then you can check your controls here. Everything looks good. You move that back to flight idle. Hopefully I didn't break it. Yeah, we're good. But yes, I believe if you want to do the run up right beforehand, you can just move that over to the right. So high idle, not low idle, to feather the engine if you ever need to do that. Alright, so all this is going to happen fast for takeoff. So I'm going to read this through for you from the manual. It says increase torque to 50%, verify propeller is 2000 RPM, verify oil pressure, increase torque to 90 to 100%, monitor ITT, high altitude takeoff, for high altitude takeoff, monitor ITT, release brakes, use rudder to maintain centerline. Once we get to 90 indicated airspeed, slowly rotate at 10 degrees, nose up, maintain minimum 100 knots, allow aircraft to accelerate. When airborne, apply toe brakes briefly, and then gear up, allow aircraft to accelerate. Minimum altitude 400 feet AGL, turn to departure heading. Minimum airspeed 115 knots, and then select flaps up, select yaw damper on. Climbing speed recommended about 100 to 124 indicated. So that's what we're gonna be looking for our departure. Hopefully I can get that right. One thing I will say is that the rudder can be a little sensitive, I guess is what I should say. And really quick note is that closing the inertial separator can produce as much as 20% increase in torque. Prior to selecting inertia switch off, and ensure that torque indication is below 80%. During inertial separator transition, do not increase the throttle. Approximately 45 seconds after selecting the inertial separator to off, and after the torque is no longer increasing on its own, you can again start adjusting throttle to maintain climb power. So again, I'm saying all this now because all this is going to happen very quickly. Hopefully I get it right myself. I'm also going to have to verify cabin pressure. We should be good there. We do not want to exceed 100% torque. Don't want to exceed 840 ITT, and do not exceed 104% in G. So these are things you need to watch out for, all in the takeoff. If you need to hear that again, you can either read the manual that comes with the aircraft when you buy it, or rewind the video. So with that being said, let's do the flight. Let's make sure we got that set to heading. We could also turn it to navigation mode, and that would fly it as well. But I'll try to change it to navigation once we get airborne. I'll do a little bit of hand flying here in the beginning of the departure. And with that being said, we are ready to go. Landing lights on. Let's check the arrival. No aircraft are inbound. Very good both ways. At least park and brake. I'm now set to flight idle, so I have to watch out with my taxi. So I want to maybe get out of hand here. I will say, I should have mentioned this earlier in the video, but the TBM 900 can be pretty heavy on frames, and you may see us get some stutters or some lower frame rates here once we get airborne possibly, but just letting you know, warning you, if you have a computer that is not amazing, it could be an issue. You can see my specs in the description. Alright, let's go. Alright, so power up to 50%. See the park and brake. They're bringing the throttle up. Too far, a little too far. You're at 93% torque. Alright, so like I said, really kind of sensitive on the controls there. 90 knots. Back. Wow, that wind took us. Look at that. Gear up. Jesus. Yeah, we got a crosswind, people. Look at that crosswind. Wow, I have never, wow, look how crooked we are. Flaps up as well. Only looking, oh, look at that, yeah.
Don't think.
Sorry about that. I'm doing a great job right now, am I?
Don't think.
Looking for 6,000, I think is what I set it to. No, 5,000. Look for 5,000 right now. Switch over to nav mode. We'll follow the flight director for a bit. Pretty nice day in the Bahamas. A little windy. Only 8 knots, but you can definitely feel it. Increase my pitch up. Alright, we're coming up to Javis now. We can go ahead and start rolling to the left. Beautiful water. I kind of wish I could have a little bit better scenery over here in the Bahamas, because the water should be freaking like a whole lot lighter shade blue. I'm using more of a default. I do have ortho photos for the actual island itself, but you can see it kind of ends right there and it kind of feathers out to the default water color. And I turned it way too much. That's what happens when you start enjoying the scenery instead of paying attention. Alright, we're over Javis right now. We should be making a left turn here. I'm looking forward to flying this thing in the rain because it has some pretty cool windshield effects. I also challenge you to, I don't promote it, but I challenge you to, if you happen to get in an accident, the windshield does actually crack. It's pretty cool. It's cool, pretty cool small detail that you hope you never see. Alright, we're climbing. Trying to add some altitude here. I didn't actually set my altitude before we took off. That's something we should have did. You can see here on the display is actually showing the bars. That's our altitude I'm setting it to. It's pretty cool. See our flight path here soon. We get it up to at least 5,000. Almost there. Set the autopilot up. Yeah, 5,900. At least follow the flight path as I do that. There it is, 5,000. I'm gonna hit flight change mode. That's the preferred way to climb with this aircraft, is using flight change. What that will do is that it will pitch your aircraft up or down, depending on your throttle input, to maintain the selected airspeed. So right now we're about to level off at 5,000. Down, and we're just above the tops of these clouds. We're gaining speed now, and one thing I've had an issue with, I don't know if anybody else had this issue, but whenever I hit autopilot, which I'm about to do right now, so you have navigation already selected, we have flight director selected, we have flight change mode selected, even though we're already at altitude, and I hit autopilot, and it's most likely going to yank the yoke out of my hand. So I'm going to actually use some trim to try to trim out the aircraft first before I hit autopilot mode, because I've had some issues with transitioning into autopilot. It seems like it doesn't do it very smoothly. I'm just trying to the rudder. There we go. Alright, we're going to hit autopilot and watch this. Oh, smooth that time. Of course, because I'm recording, you want to do it right. You don't want me to show the world your flaws. Alright, so yaw damper on. We should have did that as soon as we took off. Is it on? Yeah, yaw damper on, inertial separating can come off now. I was told to use that when it's raining and stuff like that. And now the aircraft is flying itself. Cool, so now we've done that. Inertial separator is off. I don't know why I still said this on. And we will go and change our altitude up to our cruise of 24,000 feet. We'll see if we actually make it up that high in the given time that we have. Shall see. Alright, there it is, 24,000. We're hitting about 216 indicated knots right now. What I will do is hit vertical speed mode first. Climb at around, let's do 1,500 feet per minute. Actually, let's do 2,000 feet per minute. And I'm going to hit flight change mode somewhere around 180 knots. It's my preferred speed to climb in the TBM. We can probably do even less than that. So you see now I've hit vertical speed. So now they were losing speed because we're climbing, obviously. Climb all the way up to 24,000 feet. The aircraft is flying the departure. We're now headed to Nico, so it's basically successfully flown it. We flew the plane to Javis, and then we hit autopilot right after Javis, and now the aircraft is continuing on the departure to Nico, where I have set 18,000, which is probably impossible. So that's why I'm not going to select VNAV. We have our flaps up, our gear up. Checks. Turn the landing lights off. Strobe should have been on since takeoff. Overhead is good. Our inertial separator is off. Should have to worry about icing right now because our outside air temperature is only 12. One thing I like to do is sync my heading just in case something happens with the navigations. We can have a good heading to come back to. Here comes 182 knots, 81. Right when it gets to 80, I'm going to hit flight change mode and I will increase the throttle. That will actually increase our vertical speed and flight change mode. You see that right there? And we have a little indicator right at 179, 180. Over here's our torque. I'm going to go up until too much down right there. Should be good. As we get higher, our torque is going to continue to go down, and you can actually apply more throttle in order to get the aircraft to continue and maintain speed. So passing 8,800 now, 900, and climbing pretty well right now. All our temperatures are looking good. Our fuel's looking good. Temperature pressurization is also looking good, and we're following the flight plan. Again, this is our click on it so you guys can see this a little bit better. But these little squares are is 24,000 feet, so it's just kind of showing you where that is. That's basically your LNAV VNAV path, which is pretty dark. So we've already started our descent. Very short cruise today. We see that we're passing 16,000 now. I've already set up the vertical speed mode to go to 1,800 to follow our vertical speed required down here on our Synergy 1000. See, 18,000 is what we need. We're about 5 minutes, a little bit over 5 minutes from our bottom of descent. Everything's going pretty soon. I tried out VNAV. It's on right now. I don't really know if it's doing anything. I'm not really sure how that works at all, but we've done that. That's cool. I wanted to mention this earlier, but if you want this path to show up on your PFD, all you need to do is go down to PFD, which is the fourth button on the bottom of your main PFD. Click on that. On the left, you'll see Send Vision, and then you have pathways, send terrain, a bunch of other stuff, heading, all of that stuff. And that's why you can see a second ago you can see an actual like it showed us what the name of the airport was over here. You can't see it now, we just went away. But if you want that to go away, you see that goes away just like that. And that is a terrain, and I don't know what that is. I think heading, airport sign. So it's a pretty cool thing to use. I really like it. You can also turn on your nav1 here, your bearings, all that good stuff. Speaking of nav1, let's go ahead and plug in our ILS frequency that we need. So that is going to be for Opelika Miami ILS localizer 9er left. That's going to be 1105. As we make a turn here over ZBV, I think is what it is. And that is like a complete, wow, that thing moves. I wish I could turn it to half bank or something. So to change that, we're going to nav. Yeah, I think the one to the right is the active one. Yeah, it's showing up here. So ILS 1105. We're not in range of it, so obviously it's not doing anything. We'll turn this one off because we don't really need it. So it's going to be our ILS. Once we get closer to it, oh, there it is. Now we're close enough to actually get that frequency tuned in. That's pretty cool. So set that back. We're below 10,000. I mean, we're below 18,000, so we set our altimeter to 2996, which is the Opelika current altimeter, which I've already checked. Our final course will be 093. And let's see if it'll let us change that now. No, it does not, because we're using GPS. So once we switch over to localizer mode, we'll be able to change our CRS and switch it to 093. So right now we won't worry about it until we get off of the navigation mode. We're almost at 10,000 feet. We'll turn on the lights once we get to it. But so far, we're doing really good. We're right on our vertical navigation path. We should start seeing the coast pretty soon. I also tried to use ATC up in our cruise, and for some reason I'm still having issues with voice. I don't really know what's up with that. So we'll be flying offline for the rest of this flight. We're going to bring our throttle back a little bit more. Again, we are below 10,000, so we need to be below 250 indicated airspeed, as usual. Once we're about 10 miles from the glide slope, we're going to want to be looking at 180 knots. And then when we intercept the glide slope, and let's see, glide slope intercept to 1,500 feet above the airport, we're going to be at 160 knots indicated, and then 1,500 to 1,000 over the airfield will be about 120, and our final approach speed will be between 90 and 95. All right, perfect. So we are at 6,000 feet. We just passed decal, so we were there right on time. Our next altitude to think about will be 2,000 at Freddy, and we are still about a little ways out from that. You can see again we have our cool little boxes here as we fly through our flight path. That's just really cool. Like, it really doesn't help you a whole lot. You know, it's more of just like okay, this is cool to have kind of thing. I could definitely appreciate it for what it is, but obviously you don't want that to be your primary way of navigation, but it's just really cool. So again, 2,000 feet at Freddy. Once we get to Freddy, we will activate the approach, and that will send us to O'Kane, where we need to be at 1,600 feet. And we should be, as you can see here on the PFD, you can actually see some land out there. That is Florida. We can't see it out the window just yet. It's a little too far. In case you didn't believe me earlier, we can check out the Addons in Opelika, which is going to be 125.9. Let's just go ahead and plug that in. 125.9. There we go. Alright. Weather is 050 at 12. Visibility more than 10. Sky condition 2,900. Few 4,900 scattered. 34,500 few. Temperature 28. Dip 2.22. Altimeter 2,997. So we'll change that on our end. 2,997. We have information Foxtrot. Departing runway 09 left, 09 right, and arriving runways 09 left, 09 right. Cool. We'll switch that back over. Yeah, man, the TBM is a pretty cool plane. This is not like a review, and I don't plan on putting out a review for the aircraft, but I will say my thoughts on it so far. Again, one of the downsides of this aircraft is it can take a pretty big, turn the land lights on, a pretty big frame rate bite. So again, if you don't have the strongest computer, I warn you, be careful. Like, if you're not confident, maybe ask somebody who knows. Don't ask me, because I'm not really good with computers. I can't say that. I'm not good with specs. Like, I don't know how a beast of a computer you need to run something like this, or to run X-Plane. People ask me that question all the time. The good thing is that, again, the systems are so detailed. As we saw, you can look at the engine temperatures, which I think we can even look at right now. There it is our engine temperatures, live engine temperatures, which is really stinking cool. A lot of really cool features with this aircraft that you can use. You can change the registration number just right here without even changing the actual physical livery, which is really cool. I got ECS info. Like, I don't even know what that means, but it's here. Here we go. It's really cool. But yeah, I mean, like, it's just crazy the amount of detail they went into the systems that you don't even usually see. You know, like the under the hood type stuff is just crazy. And again, those are not even. It's not even just that about why this is so good. I mean, the exterior model is great. It looks good from close up. It's very accurate. I like it. Every bulb in the actual navigation lights are modeled. Like it's just crazy the amount of detail. I feel like they just went above and beyond for every small thing, you know. And I'm impressed personally, and I definitely recommend it for anyone who really loves general aviation. Even if you don't like general aviation, this is a great plane to introduce you to general aviation. I will say though, if you are a kind of person who, when it comes to flight simmer level, let's talk about that before. We're almost done with our flight, so as soon as we finish this, we'll be landing. But let's talk flight simmer level very quickly. Again, obviously the exterior model is great, interior model is great, systems are great so far. I haven't found any flaws really with the systems yet. One thing I will say is whenever you reload the aircraft, it's reloaded where you left it off. So if I were to quit this flight or crash, or my X-plane crash right now, when I get in to X-plane and reload this aircraft again, it will reload exactly as it is, as far as like on the ground, but every switch will be in the exact same spot as it was right now, every button, all that, and that kind of can mess some things up because, yeah. So make sure whenever you shut the aircraft down, you actually shut it off, like completely shut everything off as if you were ready to restart the flight, because it would come back just as is. But flight simmer level, is this like good for an introductory person just getting into flight sim? Maybe not. Maybe not. But it is a pretty good one if you've been flying airliners and you're finally getting like, maybe I should try out some GA stuff. I think this is the perfect airplane for you to try out. Let's go ahead and make that descent down to 2,000 to Freddy. It's coming up. Let's go to altitude select. Roll that down to 2,000 feet. There we go. Our VNAV path is looking like we need to descend pretty soon. We're only 20 miles from it. There we go. Vertical speed required about 800. So we'll do that exactly. Let's go ahead and hit vertical speed mode. And we will roll our vertical speed down to 800. Matter of fact, let's do 900. We'll do 1,000. We'll get there a little bit early. And we'll delete that. We'll go ahead and turn it off. So yes, if you're an introductory, if you're just getting into general aviation, I think this is the perfect aircraft for you. It will be challenging, but who doesn't like a challenge? It has a tutorial to show you how to start it up, so that's why I think it's great for a beginner getting into general aviation. If you're a beginner to X-plane in general, maybe not so. It may be a little too complicated for you. Maybe try something a little bit more simple as your first GA aircraft. But if you already love general aviation, you've already been experienced with it, you're an experienced flight simmer, you've been doing it for a long time, you love flight sim, you love any kind of thing, like, you'll love this plane for sure. Like I said, I think it really helps level the field from people who are been doing general aviation for a while to people who haven't, with the tutorial that it does a great job of explaining exactly what the system do, where they are, how to start the plane your first try. You can also watch the tutorial at any time by going to plugins, TBM 900, and tutorials. It talks about the throttle quadrant, it talks about starting it up again, it talks about taxi, all of that stuff. So it's a great plane. Look at this beautiful view off our nose right now. Amazing. Opalaka should be coming up off our left wing here. Not sure if we'll be able to see it under the clouds, but I think that is it over there off the tip. Doing pretty good on the descent though. Like I said, once we get to Freddy, we'll activate the approach, and I'll show you guys how to do that once we get there. I think we're gonna be let's take a look at the manual. We're gonna want to be at 180 knots Yeah, let's make sure we're at 180 knots when we get to O'Kane. Oh yeah, O'Kane waypoint. That'll be our first waypoint on our approach today. There it is. There's the airport. You can barely see it, but it's over there. It's been a really fun flight. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from it. I know I have learned it. Learned some stuff while I've been flying it. I've probably flew this plane. I think I've done about 5 full flights in it so far. This is my first time though, actually doing a full flight plan with SIDs and STARS. Usually I've had like 1 or 2 waypoints in there. I've never used the ILS though, so that'll be interesting. So if we have a hard landing or something like that, you may know why. But I have not used the ILS. I have not used the radios or any of that stuff very much. So this plane is still very new to me. So if you guys know more than me, which you most likely do, let me know in the comments. I'm very open. I'm never try to put myself off as somebody who knows everything about anything. Even the things that I feel like I specialize in, I still don't believe I know everything, even in those things. So definitely let me know what you think. So you can see here on our flight plan, if I zoom in here on the range, there's Opelaka right there, so it should be off of our left wing back here, like I said. And O'Kane will be right over here somewhere. So looking at 2,000, we're right on our vertical speed. We actually turned vertical speed down a little bit. Way early. We can go like down to 600. You're 1,000 feet away. Got a beautiful sunset happening. It's really not that late yet. It's about 6 o'clock local. 6:30 local. The sun shouldn't set for another hour or 2, but it's pretty low already. So usually, right around this time, actually since about way back, we will be under ATC control, giving us vectors and all that stuff. So right around this point at Freddy, we will be expecting vectors for the final, for the ILS approach. But again, we'll be vectoring ourselves this time. We're only 300 feet above. Our speed is okay. I'm going to kind of bring the throttle back a little bit. As we level off, obviously we'll lose some speed. So I most likely can probably just leave it as it is right now. Alright, here comes Freddy. There it is. We are at 2,000. Speed's coming down about 168 knots. I'll go ahead and go down to our middle screen. Oh yeah, right, here we go. This okay, so to activate the approach, we go to procedure and then activate approach. Enter. And now our aircraft is turning left. We will also, again, we won't be at 1,600 feet, so I'm going to change our altitude select to 1,600 feet, 1,600. And we will descend down to 1,600 feet. Looking good so far. I think we're flying over, what do you call this area? Can't remember. I'm not from Florida, but there's a thing you call this area where all the swamps are. I know we're flying over the swamps. I just can't remember what you call it. I'm pretty sure somebody's watching like, it's this. I know, I don't remember the name. I know what it's called. I just can't remember the name. Okay, so now that we're doing that, we need to make sure that our navigation is ready for the localizer, Opelaka. So because we're flying away from it, we're not capturing the ILS right now. Let's go over here and just make sure aircraft's doing what we want to do. Alright, there we go. We're flying directly to O'Kane. And what I want to do is I want to turn my heading. So we're going to sync our heading back to where we're going. Actually, going to turn a bit to our right. We'll switch to heading mode. There we go. And then I'm going to switch our PFD CDI to lock 1. And now we can change our CRS to 093. If it'll let me, let's see if it'll work. Oh, CRS 1 is what we want. Here we go. 093 is what we're looking for. 093. And that'll be It right there, perfect. Cool. Alright, so again, we won't be there about 180 knots or so. What we're looking for, we're still not getting the localizer. I'm not getting it right here for some reason, not sure why. Maybe we need to turn a bit more towards it. Let's see if we turn towards it, if it'll fix it. So we had it up at first, earlier. I mean, it says it right here that it's the correct one. And we're about to overfly it now. So I'm going to use heady mode to sync us up with it. I'm also going to turn on navigation. That should lock us onto that. That should help us intercept it. We did overfly it just a bit. It's just not capturing it right here. I'm not sure why. Let's try turning on approach. Again, this is my first time trying this. Let's try turning on. I think there's an approach button. There it is, approach. It's gonna be a beautiful arrival right here, man. So what's weird is we saw it coming from the other way. I'm hoping we're not landing on the wrong side of it. That would be embarrassing. So we need to maintain 1600 until we get to Sasbo. That's our next waypoint. I have visual now of the runway off in the distance. Land lights are on. How far are we? Their glide slope is armed. Just checking everything, make sure everything is looking good. Maybe if I go to PFD again, maybe it will reset it. Let's see, CDI, VOR2, GPS, localizer. Yeah, I'm not sure, guys. Let's see if it actually captures it. It may not. If it doesn't, we're still going to land visually. Again, this is my first time trying it. I may have to try it again another day, and I'll just have to apologize for you guys that I didn't do it correctly, and you can let me know. I do see... Oh, there we have a Morse code now. And I see the glide slope marker coming down, so we're doing something right. Alright, yeah, so we just flew straight through that thing. So we're gonna land this thing visually.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
Sorry guys if you hear my freaking dog in the background. We'll disconnect the autopilot and we'll land this baby by hand, and we'll have to try that another day.
Landing gear.
So as the gear comes down, you can see our speed, losing speed very, very quickly. Landing gear is like freaking speed brakes, man. So I don't know what I did wrong there. We have the correct frequency plugged in. We have the CRS correctly. We're on VLOC mode on the PFD, CDI. So I'm not really sure what I did wrong there. So we'll just have to fly it down. We'll use the glide slope and localize and all that as a reference instead. We are a little high since we flew straight through it, so I'm going to try to send and recapture the glide slope. And we're a bit off to the right as well. We do have a bit of wind. Looking for final approach speed around 90 to 95. We're at 97, so not too far above it. There's a glide slope right there. We'll put the nose back up, start losing speed, give us some more throttle to compensate that. really weird. Not really sure why it didn't work.
500.
So again, if you know what I did wrong there, let me know. I'm pretty sure I will figure it out later anyways, and may not be able to do it right until our next video, which may end up being a live stream or something, who knows. Still at 95, trying to keep our speed around that area. Some trim. We're at 88. Gear is down. Indicating 3 green. We have flaps for landing. We are a little low, actually a lot low. We're getting some lift now from the set of flaps. Runway is clear. And we blew through the glass lip again. That's hilarious. And we want to touch the ground around 75 knots, from what I understand.
Airspeed.
Definitely a crosswind here. About 13 knots is what it says on the PFD. We're at 80 knots right now. Traffic taking off on the other runway. Look at that on the PFD. Look, you can actually see the runway. That's so freaking cool. We are losing a few frames here close to the ground. 76 knots. Flare. Idle. And we're down. Whew. Nice. Alright, so we can hit the reversers. Not that we really need it. And I don't want to go any more than 40 knots on those reversers. There we go. Manual braking, we'll use this taxiway right here. Alright, so I'm down using the taxi on the throttle. And right there on the PFD, you can see that was the airport. That was that setting we were talking about where it shows the airport on there. That's pretty cool. Alright, so it looks like we are on Foxtrot. We will taxi to parking. Once we get there, we will watch our landing. I'm not sure where parking is, so we're just going to park wherever we feel like it. Pretty cool plane, though. Like I said, I don't know what went wrong there on final. Was trying to capture localizer and glide slope. We were able to capture localizer, was not able to capture the glide slope for some reason. Again, I'll try to figure that out in my next flight, and I'll definitely let you guys know what I learned later on. Alright, flaps are up, taxi lights are on. Yaw damper should be off. It is, I think it's already off. That might have been why it didn't work. I don't know. We have traffic ahead of us, taxiing the other way. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining in. I'm really glad that we were able to get the entire departure and arrival in there. So pretty happy about that. Sadly, again, couldn't get the ILS to work. Figured it out next time. But definitely appreciate you guys riding along today on today's flight. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you want to see more videos like these. Welcome to Opelika, Miami. Shout out to Steve-O. Let me know how I did, bro. Beautiful sunset over there. Beautiful, beautiful. We will park. I will go ahead and go through the shutdown stuff too. I'm not, again, a professional at this, so I may do some things wrong. I'm just basically going to turn everything off. That's all I'm really going to do, to be honest with you. All right, we'll turn it around. That works right there. All right, so I'm holding the brakes down right now. And I'm going to turn the parking brake knob and let go of the brakes. And parking brake is on. And you want to shut off the engine. There it is. All the way down to cut off. And then it's going to bother you about the air conditioning. So air conditioning is actually AC. Set that to all the way off, not just auto or on or manual. Bleed's gonna come off. Go up to the generator. Generator's off. We'll turn off the auxiliary, fuel auxiliary pumps. Fuel selector's gonna come off. AP trim come off. More warnings. Pitot heat comes off. Land lights come off. Strobe lights come off. Nav lights come off. And then source. Batteries off. Make sure you put this handle down, or you can't do any other maintenance on your plane. And the rest of that looks good to me. Yep. Perfect. Open the door up. Hit it twice. Chocks on. And if you hit payload, it allows you to open a lot more things, such as the passenger door. My favorite. Cool. And one thing that's really cool is whenever you turn this off, is you can put like the little red things, I don't even know what the heck you call them, the little red flags, on everything but the engine because it's too hot. It says will set when engine has cooled off. That's just another really cool small feature that's just so freaking dope. So you can shut that off. If we go over to maintenance manager, actually first let's take a look at our engine temperatures just for fun. I mean, again, I don't know what they mean, how to read them, but I go to engine temperatures, you can see everything's pretty hot right now. ITT is pretty hot, all that stuff is hot. If you were to try to start the engine again, it would actually make you, it wouldn't make you, but you could actually blow the engine up, or you could do a hot start if you don't let the ITT cool down first. If I go to engine, hit open engine, and I don't even know if it would let us change these parts out, but you can see we must have did something right because nothing is in the red. Everything is basically as new, so I guess I did a pretty good job. Landing gear access, I guess I did okay with that as well because we don't have any broken parts. Electrics, again, not worried about the rest of this stuff, but it's just pretty cool that you can even test it out. I did actually crash one time, and when I went to airframe, my right wing and left wing were broken and I could not replace them, therefore I had to make a new airframe. But anyways, let's get these doors back closed because it might not stay closed whenever I watch the replay. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Remember, you got 3 choices: give up, give in, or give it all. You got peace, love, and God bless you. I'll see you guys next video.